The early morning hours over the new bill to replace Obamacare as opposition mounts and President Trump tries to strike a deal.
He's in a very much of a sell mode.
He's reaching out to old enemies inside their White House meetings.
Zeroing in on the mole. This building now at the center of that FBI investigation into who's behind those massive CIA leaks as major tech companies scramble to secure your TVs, tablets, and phones.
Dangerous winds whip across the Midwest and Northeast, topping 80 miles an hour, ripping the roof off this school. This plane with a basketball team slides off the runway. Power lines pop, leaving more than 1 million people in the dark as wildfires rage across 8 states and another blast of winter takes aim. The new snowstorm moving into the Northeast.
And daring rescue. The dramatic moment this hero jumps out of his car, running onto train tracks to save that woman, sprinting under the barrier as it comes down.
I'm not a hero, I'm not anything. I just saw something and something needed to be done.
The heart-stopping rescue with just seconds to spare.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Wow. It sure was some dramatic rescue. Good morning, America. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, including the battle to repeal Obamacare. That's a live look right now at Capitol Hill, where House committees have been working all through the night. We'll have a lot more on that coming up.
As you see, they're still going at it. So many facing that wicked weather as well. Winds so strong they knocked over this truck on a busy Ohio highway. And take a look at this tree here in New York, toppling over from the wind, hitting a power line, catching fire. And in Chicago, the wind's so strong it actually blew out windows. We're going to have more on that in a moment, but let's go right to Ginger for that new winter storm moving into the Northeast. Good morning, Ginger.
Robin, are you ready for a mid-March winter smack? Well, it is coming at you in the next 24 hours. Look at this. Throughout Pennsylvania, into New York City, up through even Rhode Island, we have winter weather advisories and a winter storm watch because the snow's going to start overnight tonight. And I stopped it right here, the most important, crucial time on a Friday morning drive. You've got Philadelphia in snow. You have New York City in snow. You have southern Connecticut into parts of Rhode Island that'll be getting snow in the morning commute. It'll be a quick moving system. I think some of the heftiest totals will come in eastern Long Island and for the Cape. But either way, when you get this at this time of year, when everyone's been so warm, they say, what is happening? Even if it's 1 to 3 inches. Robin, George?
Oh, it's still winter. Come on.
It sure is. We're going to move on now to that healthcare showdown on Capitol Hill. You're looking live at the House Energy and Commerce Committee. They've been going for 19 hours and counting, drafting their version of Obamacare repeal. And this comes as President Trump tries to strike a deal with conservative critics resisting the new bill. Our chief White House correspondent, John Carl, is tracking all the latest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. With opposition mounting from fellow Republicans, the White House is launching what they are calling a full court press to sell their plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. It's all-nighter time on Capitol Hill.
On this vote, the ayes are 23, the noes are 16.
The Republican health care plan cleared the first of several committees after 4 a.m. this morning. Another committee working right through dawn.
So buckle in, because we will go until we're done with the amendments.
With Democrats doing everything they can to derail the bill or at least delay it as long as possible.
I guess if we have to stay all night, I'll stay all night to offer my amendment. I don't think it's junk. I think it's an important idea.
As the battle moves forward, Donald Trump, the negotiator and salesman, is back in action.
He's in a very much of a sell mode.
The president is out to make a deal, now reaching out to conservative critics who have denounced his plan as Obamacare light.
I think the president was very clear when he said this bill is open for negotiation. The bill as written is not going to pass the Senate, and so we need to improve it.
Lying Ted holds that Bible high, puts it down, and then he lies.
Overnight, Ted Cruz, once a top Trump target during the campaign, dined with the president and their wives at the White House. President Trump also invited to the White House prominent conservative groups that have already opposed his bill. After the meeting, their opposition seemed to soften.
This is a great step in exchanging ideas to figure out a way that we can all be on the exact same page.
Earlier in the day, House Republican leaders began the process of getting the bill through the House.
Costs are skyrocketing. Deductibles are going through the roof.
Immediately, they faced loud objections from Democrats.
And this is what you've come up with. This is a bad joke.
But for Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, the real challenge is keeping Republicans on board.
We're going through the inevitable growing pains of being an opposition party to becoming a governing party.
As for that dinner last night with Ted Cruz, I am told that Cruz, his wife, and their 2 daughters spent about 2 hours here last night at the White House. This morning, Cruz is tweeting about it, a photograph of his 2 daughters with the president at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, saying our family had dinner with the president and first lady, who were warm and gracious. And Robin and George, the charm offensive continues next week. A group of conservatives in the House are invited here to the White House to do a little bowling as they make the case for supporting the bill.
But, John, still the president faces challenges on other fronts, including that revised travel ban, Hawaii overnight being the first state to file a lawsuit against that revised ban.
Yes, the state of Hawaii is arguing that the travel ban is unconstitutional because effectively it is not much different than the first travel ban, which was blocked by the courts. The White House, however, believes they are on solid legal ground, that they have narrowed this travel ban so that it will withstand legal scrutiny.
All right, John, thank you.
Okay, we've got a lot of foreign policy news as well. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, is here. And Martha, it appears that the president is about to appoint another former critic to a key post.
He was a big critic of Donald Trump. It's Jon Huntsman, the former governor of Utah, former presidential candidate, ambassador to Russia. He has very little experience with that, but he was the ambassador to China. Donald Trump once called Jon Huntsman lightweight, weak, and Jon Huntsman did not at first support Donald Trump. Then he did. And he withdrew that support after the Access Hollywood tapes.
But it's probably so important for President Trump to have someone who wasn't connected to the campaign at all, given all the questions about contacts with Russia during the campaign.
I think that's true. And the other thing is he just needs good, experienced people. And they have reached out. They have cast a wide net. They found Jon Huntsman. He's very well respected. He will learn very quickly and engage with the Russians.
Meantime, a brand new Marine mission in this fight against ISIS in Syria.
You know, this is incredible. I think so few people realize how involved the U.S. is in Syria. We now have 900 troops in Syria. If you remember, there's a cap at 500, but they've played numbers games for years. Those extra 400 will only be there 120 days, so they don't count, but they are getting closer and closer to the battle. They really need a strategic plan.
We've had a lot of special operations forces in that battle. This is the first time you're actually having a conventional force.
Exactly, and you've seen them in Strikers, you've seen pictures of them in Syria. It is really astonishing when you think about it, because it has been piecemeal for so many years.
Okay, Martha Raddatz, thanks very much.
All right, George, now to the investigation into that massive leak of CIA documents, a search zeroing in on this building right here for whoever released highly sensitive material to WikiLeaks. Our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, is here. You have the latest. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, Robin. The FBI has now launched a full-scale criminal investigation of who stole the CIA secrets. And after a day of silence, the White House finally publicly condemned the leak to WikiLeaks, the same organization Donald Trump had praised as a candidate when it posted stolen emails from the Democrats. The hunt for the mole by the FBI is focused on employees and contractors who worked in this nondescript building outside Washington, D.C., the headquarters of the government's top-secret Center for Cyber Intelligence, the CCI.
It has created a great deal of harm, and I cannot think of it in any other terms than criminal activity.
The editor-in-chief of WikiLeaks remains holed up inside the Ecuadorian embassy in London, Julian Assange, who is wanted on sexual assault charges in Sweden. An ABC News producer was turned away at the embassy door.
Could I deliver a letter to Julian Assange?
When WikiLeaks posted the emails from the Democratic Party hacked by Russian intelligence, candidate Donald Trump was full of praise.
WikiLeaks! I love WikiLeaks!
Now the White House press secretary says while the CIA leak was serious, not so much the Russian hack of the Democrats.
There is a massive, massive difference between those two things.
But both are illegal and both under investigation now by the FBI. The new CIA revelations continue to shake the electronic appliance world. Phone manufacturers, including Apple and Google, say they are scrambling to make sure the CIA can no longer hack into their devices or systems. And Samsung said it is urgently looking into the claim the CIA can turn its televisions into listening devices even when they appear to be off. It's illegal for the CIA to use any of those techniques in the U.S. against U.S. citizens, but the FBI can with a court-approved warrant. As the director of the FBI, Jim Comey, said yesterday, there's no such thing as absolute privacy in America, Robin.
Keep in mind. Yes. Fine, thank you.
Okay, guys, President Trump also facing new fallout over his explosive and evidence-free claim that President Obama ordered his phones tapped during the campaign. Facing questions at yesterday's White House briefing, Sean Spicer read this statement.
There is no reason that we have to think that the president is the target of any investigation whatsoever.
Let's get more on this from our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. And Pierre, the pressure now mounting on FBI Director James Comey and the Justice Department to either back up or knock down the president's claim.
That's right, George. It's getting to be put up or shut up time for everybody involved. The House Intelligence Committee is calling on Comey to appear in a hearing scheduled for March 20th, and Senators Lindsey Graham and Sheldon Whitehouse have sent a letter to Comey and the Justice Department demanding records to show whether there were any wiretaps related to Trump. Graham said he would subpoena Comey and the Justice Department if he had to, George.
This isn't all that complicated. They either did have the wiretaps or they didn't, and the FBI director says he wants to get the truth out there, but there are divisions inside the Justice Department over how and whether to do that?
Yeah, George, there's some at the Justice Department who want Comey's request to die on the vine to go away, believing if they put out a statement challenging Trump's claims, it opens Pandora's box of talking about investigations, which they're loath to do. On the other hand, there are those who share Comey's concerns that Trump's allegations are false and erode trust in the FBI. They say such damaging comments will continue, if not combated.
The FBI director did speak in Boston yesterday.
Yeah, and he didn't mention Russia or Trump's tweets. Sources familiar with his thinking say he's being patient for a number of reasons. One, his message is essentially out there about how he feels about the tweets, and he's mindful that he's the subject of an Inspector General investigation, which is focused on whether he broke Justice Department guidelines and how he handled the Clinton email investigation, including making those public comments. Now he's trying to do this by the book and through his bosses. He did suggest he's planning to be around another 6.5 years, the full length of his 10-year term. We'll see, George.
We will see about that, Pierre Thomas. Thanks very much.
And, George, we're going to go back now to those devastating winds across the Midwest and Northeast, topping 80 miles an hour here in New York. And ABC's Alex Perez is in Chicago, where those gusts blew out skyscraper windows. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. The wind was no joke, picking up a piece of outdoor furniture from this building, slamming it across the street and shattering that window up there.
Overnight, vicious winds wreaking havoc across the nation. In Michigan, gusts up to 68 miles per hour.
It's scary to think that the winds are that strong it can lift a carport up.
This morning, the NTSB investigating after this plane carrying the University of Michigan men's basketball team slid off the runway after trying to take off in high winds.
We have a few people banged up a little bit, but other than that, everybody's healthy.
Brutal winds ripping off school roofs. In Detroit alone, more than 800,000 homes without power. 5 dying in this apartment complex. The powerful winds fueling the flames, making escapes nearly impossible.
There are civilians jumping out of the windows at the location.
It was a horrendous fire to fight. So we've got these high winds, and it just drove that fire right through the building.
The fierce bursts toppling tractor trailers across the Midwest. Watch as one on a busy Ohio highway gets knocked over.
There it goes.
In upstate New York, gusts blowing up to 81 miles an hour, leaving nearly 130,000 customers in the dark.
It is so dark out here. Power is knocked out.
The winds believed to be responsible for knocking this freight train right off the rails. And here in Chicago, power lines popping, even sending chunks of glass flying from the 38th floor of this skyscraper.
And if you're driving in these windy conditions, officials say big SUVs and vans are more susceptible to being pushed or flipped over by the wind, so they say it might be best to park somewhere safe and wait it out. George?
Makes a lot of sense, Alex. Thanks very much. And across the plains, they are facing devastating wildfires, the largest ever in Kansas, as dozens tear through the region. ABC's Philip Mena is in Oklahoma with the latest. Good morning, Philip.
George, good morning. This is one of the many homes evacuated before the fires swept through here. Only a few recognizable items left here. That is a water heater. There's the washer dryer there. It is just a haunting reminder of the devastation brought on by these wildfires. This morning, nearly 3 dozen wildfires raging in the U.S. From the southern plains down to Florida, more than 1 million acres scorched. Thousands forced to evacuate.
It's never been this bad before.
As authorities work to keep people out of harm's way.
So I got to send my truck blocking half the eastbound lane now.
In Kansas, dashcam video showing a state trooper saving a stranded trucker.
Lock it up and get in!
The largest fire in the state's history, creating thick smoke that made it impossible to see down Interstate 70. Similar scenes playing out in Oklahoma. Whipping winds fanning flare-ups there. Crews racing to hold the fire line. When the fire jumped across this narrow highway, it's impossible for a big rig to turn around quickly, and the driver of this 18-wheeler had no choice but to abandon this truck just in time, too, because this is all that's left. Near Naples, Florida, parts of the I-75 shut down Wednesday as a wall of smoke and flames threatened drivers.
The flames are super close to the interstate.
7,500 acres already burned there. The rash of fires across the U.S. being blamed for 6 deaths. 4 in Texas alone. Some good news here. The humidity has gone up and it's expected to rain here this weekend, so hopefully that'll help get these wildfires under control. George?
That should help. Okay, Phil, thanks very much. Amy's here with today's other top stories. But a real scare with the 911 system overnight.
That's right. There was a glitch that lasted for hours overnight, and it prevented AT&T customers from calling 911. That outage affected customers in at least 9 states and Washington, D.C. Police departments offered alternate numbers until 911 was up and running again, and the FCC is looking into what happened. Well, the number of people crossing into the U.S. from Mexico illegally has dropped dramatically, down 40% in President Trump's first weeks in office. Homeland Security officials say Border Patrol agents apprehended significantly fewer undocumented immigrants from January to February. They credit the president's tough stance on immigration. Well, there is more trouble for an iconic retailer. Radio Shack has declared bankruptcy for the second time in 2 years. It now plans to close at least 200 stores. And in California, some Bay Area homeowners are on edge. Literally, look at this. Their backyards are disappearing, falling into the creek below due to all that recent heavy rain. They say the land makes noise and shakes, and then their houses as well as it all falls away. They're now trying to decide if they should stay or go. And finally, one woman's guardian angel. Take a look at this incredible video. You can see her struggle to cross the tracks. There's a guy from New Jersey. He comes racing towards her. His name is Joe Mango. He leaves his car, he sprints to her side, and he pulls her away. Look at that, with seconds to spare. She was taken to the hospital as a precaution. Joe insists he is not a hero. He says he saw something needed to be done, and he did it. He said that she was so scared she actually stopped. She could see the train coming and she froze.
Yeah.
And so that train missed her with just a few inches, by just a few inches.
He didn't hesitate at all.
It was incredible to see him do what he did.
Truly her guardian angel.
Yep.
You put that right. All right. Thank you, Amy. Ginger, I mean, you...
I'm sorry, but if I ever do that, I am a hero. I think that's so cool. Anyway, they always say that. Maybe I'd say that too. I don't know how you'd react. I wanted to show you this because Boston is going to get wind today. It could look like this in your backyard where the trampoline flies. This was in Detroit at 9 Mile. And you can see right here, Niagara Falls, New York, the trees were no match. It's pulling up the sidewalk there in real time. So the wind is no joke. And there are wind advisories that stretch through parts of New England. You can see why. Noontime, 41 Boston. That's going to be a rough go to lunch. 31 in New York City, 36 Albany. So still plenty of wind out there. Could still take down power lines and still not very nice in western New York. Look at that Arctic air quickly. This is for Saturday morning, y'all. All right, your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the warm cities brought to you by Walgreens.
Look at you, saving money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions. At Walgreens, we make it easy for you to seize the day by helping you get more out of life and Medicare Part D. Now with $0 copays on select plans and rewards points on all prescriptions, Walgreens has you covered. So drop by and seize the savings. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Jackets on early this morning, but wow, we're going to warm very quickly on this
Thursday. Temperatures getting up to about 70 degrees. Great weather for going to the park, maybe getting in that run, because it's going to be a long time before I think we see 70 degrees and sunshine. Tomorrow, in fact, tracking some wet flakes of snow mixing in with rain. But look at the temperatures, really conversational more than anything else. We'll have to watch the bridges and overpasses from the low 40s tomorrow. A chilly day to a downright cold weekend. That system staying well south as we spring forward.
Still chuckling over what Ginger said.